New Genesis, Chapter 1, The Era of Death. We see Tao walking through the forest alone, investigating on an introspective nature walk. Tao was capable of handling a few freaks, so he was okay with tiptoeing around the perimeter of the settlement. The quiet forest triggers a flashback of peaceful times before all of the devastation. We see Tao performing many daily activities, all within his morning regimen, exercising vigorously, running up and down the many stone steps of his shrine, then meditating up in the mountains that were decorated along the monks' enclave. What Tao enjoyed most was reading and organizing the scrolls in the great library over green tea, a responsibility that Tao took to heart. Two monks burst into the library with news of an aurora borealis blanketing the sky to the west. An aurora borealis blanketing the west. Tao tells them to go on without him and begins to feverishly search through many of the scrolls in the library, but can't find the one he is looking for. But the news of catastrophic events plaguing the planet and now this aurora borealis had spiritual significance to it that he can't put his finger on. Tao reaches a dead end on his research and knows the only book he could find answers in is the Book of Ki, a translation of the Topaznia scriptures, and is the ancient Bible of the Yotaoshian faith that accounts the calamities that have befallen mankind since the beginning of time that people have forgotten about or forged into fairy tales. It holds cryptic messages called the Topaz prophecies that can be deciphered hundreds of different ways, and it has been, which is why its core truth is an elusive one. It was kept in the High Priestess chamber, but this didn't deter Tao. Tao was always fascinated with this book ever since he was a child and has listened to the many stories within it countless times. Tao enters the chambers and retrieves the book. Tao begins to read and eventually finds the Topaznia scripture and prophecy of the era of death and the events that would precede it in order. Tao begins to read and eventually finds the Topaznia scripture and prophecy of the era of death and the events that would precede it in order. A sickness that would sweep the land, which happened. The Vulcan flu 2 years prior. Fire will rain from the heavens. That has happened. The massive meteor shower seen around the world days ago. The massive killing off of an entire population. The mysterious event where hundreds of animals jumped off of a cliff to their deaths. And lastly, the topaz sky, when the entire atmosphere turns orange, which signified the coming of its evil. Tao rushed to warn of his findings and pleaded to the high priest and the council to come out of seclusion to warn, help, and protect the world. The council labeled his claims as paranoia, coincidence, and far-reaching. They dismissed him. This weighed heavy on Tao's brain until he finally decided to pack his things up along with the book, removing it from the priest's altar. Tao thinks twice as he removes the ancient and heavy literature filled with symbols and languages of every religion and dialect from its home. But he takes it, along with the ceremonial staff laying by it, symbolizing that he is assuming the responsibility of the shrine and will bring its light to the people if the elders won't. Tao leaves the secluded mountain forest looking back once more at the only home he ever knew.